Last week, Google quietly published a new standard. Not a model, not an API or folder, a plain folder of text files. And it does something you used to need an expensive vector database for. I read the actual spec this morning. It fits on a single page. And I rebuilt one of my own knowledge bases with it. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly when a folder beats a vector database and how to build one yourself today. Here's the problem nobody mentions. AI agents don't actually know your business. Every time you ask one a question, it starts from zero. So we bolt on RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. You take all your documents, chop them into thousands of tiny fragments, turn each fragment into a list of numbers called an embedding, and stuff them into a vector database. When you ask a question, the system finds the fragments that look mathematically similar and pastes them into the prompt. It works, sort of. But look at what's really happening. Your agent is rediscovering your entire company from a pile of shredded paper on every single question. It never learns the shape of what you know. And that machinery isn't free. You're running an embedding model, paying for a vector database, tuning chunk sizes that never feel right, re-indexing every time a document changes, and debugging why the retriever pulled the wrong paragraph. But here's the thing. Most of your knowledge isn't a giant messy pile that needs fuzzy search. It's structured. It's your tables, your metrics, your runbooks, your APIs, things that have names and clear relationships. Forcing that through similarity search is like alphabetizing your whole kitchen and then finding the salt by smell. So on June 12th, 2026, Google Cloud published the Open Knowledge Format, OKF. The whole idea is this. Instead of dumping your knowledge into a database and hoping Retrieval rediscovers it, you write it down once as a folder of markdown files and let the agent read it directly, the same way it reads your code. Each file is one concept, a table, a metric, a runbook, an API, and the concepts link to each other with ordinary markdown links. That last part is the magic. Let me show you the actual spec because it's almost suspiciously simple. An OKF bundle is just a directory of markdown files. Each file has a small header at the top written in YAML. In version 0.1, there is exactly one required field, type. That's it. Type is a short string that says what kind of concept this is, a table, a metric, a runbook. Everything else is optional but recommended. A title, a one-sentence description, a link to the real resource, some tags, and a timestamp. And there are only two special file names. Index.md is the front door, a table of contents that lets an agent see the map before it reads the details. And log.md is an optional change history. That's the entire format. One required field. Two reserved file names. Here's why the linking matters, and this is the whole point. With a vector database, the agent asks a question and gets back a handful of fragments ranked by similarity. It can't follow a thread. With OKF, the agent starts at one file, say your weekly active users metric, and that file links to the table it's calculated from, which links to the dataset it lives in, which links to the runbook for when the number looks wrong. The agent walks the graph deliberately, the way you would. It's the difference between being handed a stack of photocopied pages and being handed a wiki you can click through. Retrieval guesses. Traversal navigates. Let me build a tiny one, so it's concrete. I make a folder. I drop in an index file that lists my concepts. Then a file, metrics, weekly active users. At the top, type, metric, a title, a one-line description, a link to where it actually lives. And in the body, I write the definition. And I link the words orders table straight to the orders file. Now I have two concepts and a real relationship between them. No database, no embedding model, no re-indexing. I commit it to Git right next to my code, and any agent, Gemini, Claude, whatever, can read it and walk it. And I can review changes to my company's knowledge in a pull request, exactly like code. Now let me be straight with you, because the headlines are overselling this. OKF does not kill RAG. It is not a search engine. It doesn't rank or retrieve fragments for you. If you have 10,000 support tickets or a mountain of unstructured PDFs, you still want vector search for that long tail. The smart setup is both. OKF for the structured backbone your agent should always know: your tables, your metrics, your definitions. And Retrieval for the messy long tail. In fact, OKF makes RAG better because it hands the retriever clean, structured, relationship rich material instead of random chunks. It's not replace, it's relieve. Here's why this matters more than it looks: it's vendor neutral. No Google account, no runtime, no SDK, just markdown in a Git repo, which means your company's knowledge stops being trapped inside one vendor's database and becomes a portable, human readable, version controlled asset that outlives any single tool. And if your docs are already marked down, already one concept per page, already cross linked, you're most of the way there without knowing it. It's the same pattern that keeps winning. The simplest format that both humans and agents can read beats the clever black box. So here's what to actually do: pick the 5 things your AI assistant gets wrong about your business most often. A metric it miscalculates, a table it misuses, a process it forgets. Write each one as a single markdown file with a type field and a clear description. Link them together. Drop the folder in your repo. That's a starter OKF bundle, and it'll make every agent you point at it smarter. I built a free starter kit, a ready to edit OKF bundle with the index, the reserved files, example concepts, and a checklist. So you never start from a blank folder. If this finally made the RAG versus folder thing click, do 3 quick things. Subscribe here on YouTube and follow Hyperautomation Labs on Facebook and Instagram. I post these breakdowns on all 3. To get the free OKF Starter Kit, comment the word OKF and I'll send it straight to you. And if you want to go deeper on building agents that actually remember, my Claude code guide goes much further. Link in the description. Write your knowledge down once. Let the agent walk it. I'll see you in the next one.